obviously there's great responsibility in the CFO seat anyway, but as CEO, the buck really does stop with you now, and it's often said it's lonely at the top. How have you kind of found that?
Yeah, it's a little bit lonely. I mean, we've got great, my kind of wider operational board are fantastic, and yeah, it can be lonely, but I think everyone feels vested in what we're doing and how we're moving it forward. So I think I've been in lonelier roles, not in the CEO role, but I think that we've got the right. I've got the right team to bounce things around. I've also got a very, very supportive private equity firm, and the partner there I speak to like daily, and is a really useful foil for that. So yeah, not too lonely, not as lonely as Brian at Airbnb. I saw he was saying something about that, but it is different. Yeah. I would say that you look back on it, and there were times in my career where you are more part of a team or one of the team, and it's it is different. But no, I've got a great team around me.
How have you, in that space, been able to sort of create that clarity? You talked about being right and now moving into kind of giving clarity to the whole organization. That's quite a big adaptation. Is that something you've just had to find your feet and learn as you've gone along? Have you been reading books? Is there kind of things that you've taken on to sort of make the transition that's helped you, or is it a case of just learning as you go?
It's been more learning as I go. I think getting feedback as often as possible is probably the most important thing. I'm continuously striving to make more time to pause, reflect, and read more. But a lot of things get in the way of that, unfortunately. So, but a lot of it is just learning as I go and getting feedback from those around me, because the reality is the answer's in the business. It almost always is. It's about, do you give yourself the right time to listen to people and get feedback? So, but it's very much a work in progress. We're moving incredibly quickly as an organization. We opened 13 locations last year. We've doubled the size of the business in two years. Like it's a huge growth, and obviously with that comes great opportunity, but great change and pressure. So in terms of the wider organization, my job's trying to make sure that that's the right balance. We've got the right people in the right roles. But yeah, it's a work in progress, but we try our best to make sure we're giving as much clarity as we can.
And what have you, with that sort of high growth, opening up many stores, what are the biggest challenges for you in doing that in the last couple of years?
Big focus. So I joined the business 2 years ago. We are one of the fastest growing businesses in our sector. A big focus of mine and the team that we've built at Rafter is making sure that the platform's scalable. So a lot of the effort has been making sure that each store we open is easier than the last one. And we're doing that across 5 markets. We've got fantastic local teams in each of those markets. It's real estate, so there's development, there's contractors, there's all of that. But actually, you don't just finish it and switch it on. There's a whole mobilization plan. And we've got great teams that do that locally. And what we try to do in the central team is give them as many tools to make that as plug and play as possible. Once again, it's iterative, but where we are today to where we were 2-3 years ago is night and day. And I think we're trying to make everyone's lives easier. Obviously, sometimes there's 3 steps forwards, a couple back in terms of you bring more scale, but it sometimes brings more process. Not everyone loves that, but it's iterative.
Have you managed to sort of balance as well the dynamic of still owning the CFO place with the CEO role? Because it feels like a lot, but I guess you're having to do that at this stage as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've not backfilled my role, my old role, but I've got a fantastic finance and FP&A team behind me. So I'm very well backed up in that space. Like that buck does still sort of sit with me. We will, over the next 2 to 3 years, we'll either internally or externally bring in a successor. Fantastically, headhunters remind me every few months that I told them that, and checking that I've not changed my mind. But that's what you guys are here to do. And hopefully, speaking on this, we'll have more people asking me the same questions. But we'll be on the phone when we are ready. No, we've got a fantastic team, and I'm very well supported across the organisation. So yes, it is a bit of a balance, but it's just not the right time for the business now to kind of the need to do that. But we will over time. We will clearly put someone in place in that role.
Yeah.
Was it natural for you to kind of think that you want to move and transition from finance into something else? Has that always been part of your, I don't know, your thought process for your career journey, or has it just naturally evolved into that?
It's not always been my thought process. So I did a non-finance role relatively early, like a regional MD role when I was based overseas, which on reflection, we did some fantastic things. Probably took a little early. I had a boss that gave me lots of opportunities and gave me like the believed in me, which is, I mean, you learn so much from that, and we delivered. We did some great things, but it was a little early. And after that, I kind of when we moved back to the UK, I was looking for CFO roles rather than CEO or MD roles. I think as you spend more and more time in the CFO seat, the CFO CEO relationship is super important. I'm sure a lot of other people you spoke to in this podcast have said the same. But I think what you do is you get a better feeling of what good looks like from a CEO. And I definitely didn't spend the last 5-10 years thinking I need to be a CEO. But I think what the time has given me is reflection of the things that I think that are important and where I can add value and help in that. So it's been a bit more of a natural evolution rather than, but it was one of the reasons I moved across to this business, was the fact that there was that opportunity over time to do that. So yeah, it hasn't been a conscious kind of pivot, but a bit more of an evolution.